This video is about tips and tricks. Tricks is the wrong word. Tips and advice for people filling out the application process for the Wash in Ireland programme. The deadline is fast approaching, but if you're anything like me, and I think what most people are, they kind of leave things in a long finger and put it till the last minute kind of style. I was involved in 2012, a fantastic year, the best. A lot of people have questions about the application process and how you get to the interview stage. So I said I'd do a video, that would be fun. So I spoke to the main guy, the big kahuna being the director of the program. And he's the guy who looks over all the application programs and judges you. He doesn't judge you, he judges your application. Yeah, I figured I'd ask him, what his experience of correcting them is and what they're kind of looking for. So I think that's kind of the big question people have.
How many applications do you expect to get?
Well, it's hard to know, but last year we received 525 for 30 places and we interviewed 70 people. So definitely the interview is the hardest part of the process of what's a very competitive process anyway, but getting from application to interview is definitely the hardest piece.
Okay, I mean, what kind of person are you looking for when you're looking over them?
Yeah, well, I suppose the three things that we talk about in particular are that we're looking for people with leadership potential. What we mean that is that people are passionate about something and they're doing something about their passion. So I don't really mind what they're passionate about, so long as they're active and they're doing something in that area, that they've a track record of service. So we're looking for people that have a real history of doing things for other people, whether that's in their family, whether it's in their community, or whether it's in the kind of more global community. And the last one is that we're looking for people that are interested in learning from people that are different from themselves and come from different backgrounds, whether that's people from different disciplines or universities, or particularly those that come from a different part of our island.
How should you approach the application process? Do you have any advice on when you're going to try and communicate all that?
Yeah, well, I suppose the real thing to remember in an application process, and you touched on it there, is that it's a filtering process to get down to an interview. Mm-hmm. So it is in some ways it's a system and it's a process, and it's a very fair process. There are no trick questions to it. There's nothing beyond the question that we're asking. So there's 8 questions. There's a limited number of space that we're giving people to answer each question. So I think we're to focus on trying to think about how you can tell as much information about who you are in answering those 8 particular questions, and focusing on them and giving it a bit of time to make sure that you're giving yourself the best shot at getting through.
How much time should you spend on it?
Oh, I think really it's very dependent. I know some people who spent weeks on it, which
we won't mention names.
No, yeah. But, I do think you can do it in a short time. We have actually managed to cut down the process to really think about what the information we want from people. I think it's probably a bad plan to start at an hour and a half before the application deadline, but we're a week out now. There's loads of time.
What's the most common mistake people make? What jumps out at you year in, year out?
Yeah, well, a few different things. So the first one I would say is that people read beyond the question. Like, it's a very clear process. We're trying to be very clear about the kinds of things that we're looking for. So I would say people haven't read between the page on the website saying who are we looking for, and then linking it to the question.
That's a tip. Read the website. Okay,
yes,
that's
exactly.
Simple tip. Yeah.
I would say that the other one that I would say strongly about is that people aren't thinking about examples. Okay. So to give you an example, I would say that for a team-based answer, standard team-based question, if you were to answer that question, say, how do you work in a team? A bad answer, well, not a helpful answer, would be, I really work well in teams. I'm a great team member. Everyone gets on very well with me. All generic, standard, broad, could be dealt with for anyone. A good answer would be something along the lines of, I had experience in this team. This is what I learned from this process. This was what went well, and this is what went less well in this example.
Okay, right. Really drawing it out.
Yeah, and it's based on your experiences. So you're telling an example, an experience of something that you've done, which shows me and tells me a little bit more about yourself, rather than something that could be generic, because again it's a filtering process. So if it isn't telling you about who you are, then you're not being able to be separated out from the other people within the selection process. So just really thinking about how can you get across in your examples who you are and how your skills and experience relate to the kind of attributes that we're looking for.
Okay, fantastic. Lastly then, for all those out there now who are really interested in the programme and putting a lot of work in this, what's the best piece of advice you can give them for this stage?
Yeah, well, I just say is communicate who you are and trying to focus on not what you think we want, but who you are.
That's wonderful advice from the man himself. So for all those out there, I mean, you can't get more prepped for this. So Bryan, thanks so much for sharing your insight, and best of luck to everyone, and good luck with the reading all those reviews. That'll be it. Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks.
So that's the video. Hopefully you got something out of it. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. If you find it does help you get in the class, you can send me a check, or at the very least donate to charity in my name. There's more tips in the descriptions down below, and best of luck with the applications.